on Let It Rip Weekend. The opioid epidemic hitting close to home in Harper Woods with half a dozen overdoses in just days.
Just one time you hook and you want more.
So what's the solution to this crisis? Some say it might be weed. But first, Charlottesville, Virginia, where white supremacists held a gathering Saturday.
Go home. You are not wanted in this great Commonwealth. Shame on you.
Now the FBI is investigating after the gathering turned violent when a car plowed into a group of counter-protesters, killing one and injuring 19. Let It Rip Weekend starts right now. All right, very good.
There we go. Time to let it rip. I'm Erica Erickson and for Mario Liu.
I'm Charlie Langton. All right, she is not, let's introduce our guest right now. She's not afraid to speak her mind, no matter whether Democrats or Republicans are listening. Let's join here. Congresswoman Debbie Dingell is here. Next to her, a man who never met a protest he didn't like. From trying to get workers $15 an hour to telling Donald Trump to stay out of Michigan, the Reverend Rideout is with us. And the voice of WAAM Talk 1600, the conservative radio voice, telling it like it is, the way he says it is. Tyrone X is back. And finally, he's a conservative. He supports the president, and he's black. Political organizer Wayne Bradley. Black conservative. How about that?
There you go.
Congresswoman, let me start with you, though. A lot of people have said that President Donald Trump really should have come out a little stronger, and maybe the reason that we're seeing a lot more protests by white supremacists now, because Virginia yesterday was not the first time it happened, is because of Donald Trump. Do you agree?
I think that his rhetoric is contributing to inflammatory feelings around this country, and I think he needs to really think about the tweets that he's putting out and the tone that he's setting. I think all of us have got to come together. We cannot let this country be divided by fear and hatred. United we stand, divided we fall. And I'm very worried about what's happening in this country.
You just bring in Reverend Rideout for one moment, though, but you have protested a lot. Do you have any problem? You certainly would champion the cause of people to protest, even white supremacists, right?
Well, people have the right to protest, Charlie. The problem is when you bring rifles and guns to a protest, and when you start throwing things and you start humiliating and disrespecting people, then we have a problem.
Right.
Which is what the left's been doing since these protests started ginning up around when Obama was in office.
Are you kidding me?
Let's talk about something that's really important here. You know, the right hand and the left hand always watch with this hand when this is doing over here. Let's talk about real serious something we should be protesting right now. This is the real racism, too. Taking a 4th grade kid, pushing him into the 5th grade when he hasn't even gotten through the 3rd grade properly. That's about as racist as
you call that racism?
That's in every city all over the country.
You call that racism?
Okay. Yeah, institutionalized.
Well, you need to go back and get a dictionary. That's not racism. Is when Donald Trump lets white people spit on black people at his campaign thing, when he allows...
Why is Donald Trump a racist? Why did they love him before he got elected president?
Who loves him? You love him.
Everybody did before he got elected president.
Well,
hold tight.
He's got more Republicans against him than ever.
He doesn't like his responses. What do you think of his responses to this?
The response yesterday, I thought it was great when he came together after the first statement.
What?
The first statement was
retarded. Was ridiculous.
The first statement to some people was ambiguous, but I know exactly what he was saying. He was excoriating the left and the right because Antifa's been throwing stuff in the street, beating up police, throwing Molotov cocktails for the past year.
Let's take a look at what the president said.
You can't deny that. You deny that, you're a liar.
Hold on, Wayne, I'm going to get you rid of this conversation right here. Let's bring up the president's
You got it right that time.
All right, here's what the president said right there.
Condolences to the family of the young woman killed today and best regards to all of those injured in Charlottesville, Virginia. So sad.
Yeah.
Hold on, Wayne, let's get Wayne in here.
I mean, I think he could address the issue and call them terrorists. That's what this is. They are spreading terrorism. So I don't have a problem with that.
My point is
that's not a Trump problem.
Right.
That's not a Trump problem. We should not, and we can't blame that on Donald Trump or the Republican Party. We reject that. Ronna McDaniel yesterday made it clear she rejected. That's not what America's about. White nationalism, Nazis. That is not what this party is about. And that's not what Donald Trump's about.
Debbie Dingell said, though, that the president maybe is it possible that some people could argue that now white supremacists are coming out now because they feel more comfortable because President Trump is in office?
Absolutely.
I reject that notion.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. That's my point exactly, and I'm going to let...
What I want this is to be a learning moment for this country. We have real issues.
Yes, we do.
And people are angry, and I get, but we've got to find a way that each of us takes time to understand how other people feel. I get upset when there are, not every person that voted for Donald Trump is a racist. We got to be very careful to not take paintbrushes and paint everybody.
That's right.
This is a moment where we've got to start to take time to put ourselves in other people's shoes and understand how they feel and why they feel this. And can we somehow make this a learning moment for us?
Now, this is the thing, Charlie. We're not saying that. We're not saying it's the fault of Donald Trump that white supremacists and white nationalists and neo-Nazis and people have formed. They've been forming from day one. The fact of the matter is, as a sitting president, his first statement was horrible. He should have came out and said, you know, we want peace all over America. We're going to have an investigation.
There's something here that's being lost in the mix. The whole thing that happened yesterday was around people trying to tear down a statue.
Right.
And that statue was a statue of a Democrat. Now, let me finish. Let me finish. All the statues they're trying to tear down are statues of Democrats. Democrats gave us slavery, the KKK, they gave us Bull Connor, they gave us all of it. Lester Madison.
That's historically. Charlie, that is incorrect. Charlie, that is incorrect. They're not the only statues that they're trying to tear down.
But that is a symbol of racism.
And the bottom line, Confederacy has always been what it is. And we need to look in the face of evil and hatred and call it what it is.
Are you saying, Reverend, that every single statue of General Lee and anything with the Confederacy should be taken down?
Anything pertaining to General Lee should be thrown down. Okay? Any Confederate flag should be torn down.
I don't have an issue with that.
Thomas Jefferson, should we tear down the Jefferson line?
Hold on.
I think that there's, you know, in terms of historical context, that maybe there's some place you can put that, but not in a public square where you have, in particular in communities where now minorities are the majority in that community. Why would you want that still being reminded of you in your city?
That's my point. I've marched the streets of Virginia, and when we've marched the streets of Virginia, that was nothing compared to what we had done. We had 30,000 people, and Ku Klux Klan came over there for a peace rally when we were demonstrating for 15 in the Union, and we ran them away. Here we have them trying to do the same thing, and for people like this to sit on the stage and say it's okay to do that, I have a problem. He stated that racism is when you promote people a 4th grade into a 5th grade. Where are your
talking about the black problem, black violence?
You don't know black problems. You don't know.
You're not black. I'm white.
That's right. You
know, the Democrats haven't been this up since we took their slave away.
Democrats. This is not a Republican.
You're
not black. Stop yelling at each other.
This is the problem. We're trying to make it
on the inside. Stop yelling at each other. Here is a reality. There are children in the city of Detroit are being put ahead in schools. They're being discriminated against, and by the way, so are white students. So maybe that's a learning moment where we come together and say the education system is wrong. What's happening to kids in the Detroit school system is totally unacceptable.
That's right. There's a Detroit connection here. Some of these protesters use the Detroit Red Wings symbol.
True, and I'm against that.
Protesting.
And that was a downright stupid thing to do, and the Red Wings is against it, and the Red Wings is going to bring a lawsuit. And when you talk about protest, you protest properly and respectfully. And we've never did mean, evil protests.
And when you talk about me not knowing something because I'm white, that's racist.
You don't know about black, I said. How do you know about black? You're not black.
I know about humans. We're all pink on the inside. Knock off that black, this black, that bullshit.
Are you jealous because I'm black? You jealous because I'm black? Because you stated the wrong thing right now.
I love you, but you got a problem. You're evil. Attacking each other.
You got a problem.
I am not black, and I do not know what it is like. But I try to be empathetic and take the time to understand. And there have been times that I have gotten angry. We need to take deep breaths and put ourselves in each other's shoes sometimes.
Do you feel that, like as Charlie was saying earlier, that anger that sometimes some of us feel comes out easier? You feel like you can let it out easier on social media and in
I think it was coming. I am concerned about the tone of rhetoric that has happened post-Trump campaign.
But
to say that it wasn't there during the Obama administration, it's been there for a while in this country. It's been boiling up, and we need to deal with it.
When you voted for Donald Trump, though, I mean, if you could talk to him one-on-one right now, do you think he should tone down his rhetoric?
I think what he should do is bring a more uniting message, but he also has to make clear that this kind of bigotry and this kind of hate is not welcome, not only in our party, but in America.
Why didn't Obama make that clear when they were burning
Obama's not the president. Why are you talking about Obama?
He started all this stuff for the past 8 years with us all got ginned up.
Charlie, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. They're talking about Obama. He's not the president anymore. Let's talk about Trump, the sitting president.
I just don't see again where you try to connect this just to a president. This is an issue that's been in America for a very long time. Before Trump, before President Obama.
That's all I'm saying.
So again, we have to make, in terms of our party, we just have to make sure that that's not welcome in our party. It shouldn't be welcome anywhere in America.
This is an FBI investigation, Department of Justice. I don't know if it could be a congressional investigation. Some people could say Congress should investigate. Do you agree?
I think we'll see what happens. And the Civil Rights Division of Justice is investigating it. You will see congressional hearings on it. But what I think it needs to foster is a national dialogue. We've got real problems in this country. We need to be looking at policies from the Voting Rights Act to, quite frankly, even the Koch brothers agree we've got to do something about what's happening in our prisons. Let's work together to start to understand and fix.
And there is a civil rights investigation that's just going on the horizon.
This discussion is obviously not over. Thank you for your insights. After the break, a spike in heroin overdoses in Harper Woods. How can this opioid epidemic be solved?
Be sure to share your thoughts using hashtag LetItRipWeekend. You may see your comment on air at the end of the show. Stay with us.
All right, now it's time for you. Okay, go ahead. You do it.
We're so excited about this topic.
We're all excited about this. Go right ahead.
Okay, all right. This is a tweet we got. If you were president, what would you do to end the divide and hatred in this country? Criticism, easy solutions, difficult. We're going to send that over to Debbie Dingell.
I think we got to try to bring people together, tone down the rhetoric, and start listening to each other. And he needs to help start that listening.
Okay.
All right, let's go right over here to this one right here. Donald's response, that's the president's response, not specific enough. Call terrorist groups terrorists. Hatred is more open now that he is president. Let's who want to take that one? Wayne, why don't you take that one?
I do think that he could be a little tougher on, critical of those groups and call them terrorists. I mean, that's what they are, domestic terrorists. Let's hold, we held President Obama to a certain standard on addressing terrorists. Let's do the same thing with our party.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, we have a question about opiates. I understand the outrage about opiates in the burbs today, but where was the outrage about crack in the city yesterday? Who wants to take this one right over here?
I'll take it.
All right.
I feel like that this is only a newscast discussion because it happened to a white young man, but it's been going on for years with blacks and other people of color. So why now all of a sudden? I think that they should be concerned about everybody, not just Harper Woods or any other suburban area.
All right, let's go another one over here. Judge, how about this one? Can't law enforcement stop this drug problem?
No.
Why not?
No. Law enforcement is a critical part of the solution. Plain and simple. We've got to stop criminalizing something that's a disease state.
I agree.
All right, let's try this one over here. Go ahead, Erica.
Well, it just says simply hate does not belong in this nation. We must denounce hate and bigotry in the nation. Do we think that President Trump did that enough?
Tharon, why don't you take that one?
Yeah, let's take that one. It says, hate does not belong in this nation. We must denounce hate and bigotry. He has said something, but is it enough? That's what Trump said.
Trump is saying everything right now. I'm not tired of winning. Trump's right on top of it. North Korea on down.
Oh my goodness.
All right. I don't think we're going to have time for another question over here. I don't know. Do we have this one? No. Okay, that is it for this edition of Let It Rip Weekend.
Remember to head over to FoxNews.com for all the news of the day as well.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.